Jennifer Lee Chan in the press conference after the Dallas game actually asked Kyle Shanahan if he thought that teams might be purposely trying to take out Christian McCaffrey. There was a couple plays where maybe it looked like people were being a little extra physical. Now it is football, and Christian McCaffrey isn't going down if you just like ask him nicely. So, but I thought that was an interesting comment for someone in the media to have noticed when they were in the press box watching, that it just seemed maybe a little bit more malicious than the average football play. And I thought that I would ask you if you think maybe when we're talking about keys to victory for the Browns, um, could taking out, I mean, I don't think that this is real anymore because Jordan Mason went off last game, but do
Hmm.
you think that teams might be purposely trying to injure Christian McCaffrey?
I don't think they're trying to purposely injure because I would have no way of being able to prove that. But there are two things that are pretty consistent with maybe why people are thinking that is one, he's the focal point of everybody's attention, right? And it's like, I want to slow him down. You don't want to get beat by him. And then two, teams know the 49ers are not the hunters, the hunted. They're not the hunters anymore. They're the hunted.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at how the 49ers play, you have to be more physical. So naturally, that kind of riles people up. So I think that's kind of what you're seeing at the end of plays is that teams are trying to match the 49ers physicality. And then after the second or third quarter, you realize you can't because the 49ers can continue to do it all game because they don't talk it. That's their actual like physical culture. That's just like what they
Yeah.
do. So I don't think anybody's purposely trying to do it. I do think that he is an angry runner, so you do try to bring him down. But I think it's a multitude of really everybody trying to stop Christian McCaffrey and everyone trying to make sure that they know they're on the same physical level as the 49ers, which is something that teams sometimes have to talk themselves into, like the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like I had to get another shot in. It's just you have to match their physicality. And if you aren't playing like that normally, sure you can get up for a big game, but that's eventually going to wear off if that's not who you are. And I think that's a little bit of
Yeah.
what you're seeing with Christian McCaffrey. So I wouldn't say that they're purposely trying to do it. They're just trying to match the 49ers physicality.
Teams are definitely trying to get up to face the 49ers. That was a big narrative last year, wasn't it? That after teams would face the 49ers, they always lost their next game. And I think that's happening even maybe on a higher level now because not only is their defense trying to get up to stop this offense, but I mean, not only is their offense trying to get up to go against this defense, but now their defenses are also worried about the Niners putting 50, 40, or 30 on their heads every single game, which is literally what they're doing. um, but speaking of maybe trying to hurt Christian McCaffrey, we did see in the Dallas game if teams are able to put all their resources, because injuring someone and someone being out, then you can use resources to stop other players. But if you're just using all your time and energy to negate one player, well, then that opens up opportunities for guys like Jordan Mason or Kittle to get the ball because everyone's trying to stop someone else. Do you think that maybe a portion of the 49ers' success this year, the hot start and just how dominant they've looked, is the fact that they haven't struggled, knock on wood, with a major injury? Obviously, Ayuk had a shoulder issue that held him out for a game, but I think Kyle Shannon even said that he could have played. It was a pain tolerance thing, but because it was a Thursday night game and against a team that they weren't worried about, they held him out. Debo has had some rib stuff, but hasn't missed a game. Same thing, Greenlaw most recently was out on a Wednesday practice, but he's been out every Wednesday practice and still playing. They haven't struggled with any, once again, knock on wood. Even Aaron Banks, people thought maybe it was a bicep tendon. Turns out it's not going to be a big deal. Do you think injury luck, especially compared to slower starts under this regime for the 49ers, is maybe a bigger deal than people are talking about when looking at this offensive and defensive production so far?
100%. I mean, it's the NFL. Guys are going to get bumped and bruised, and they're going to have games where they miss. Kittle misses a game here and there, like that happens. But when you have the bevy of playmakers, you're able to offset that, right? As long as you don't have major injuries to major position players. Like if Trent Williams went down for a long time, that would really be a poor thing for this team. So yeah, through five
Didn't
weeks,
he go
they've
down for like one play earlier this year?
yeah, and we were all holding our breath, and it's crazy to think that that probably is the only way that this season goes off the rails. And I think 49er fans are they have a little PTSD especially after like 2020 and all the injuries that happened. They have avoided the injury bug. They really have. And I think that's kind of why I believe you're going to see the 49ers are a little bit more aggressive at the trade deadline. Maybe not for huge names, but certainly for depth. When you have that amount of money sitting around and you have the aspirations the 49ers have, sitting back and not being proactive and addressing depth would probably be the wrong thing to do at this point. So if you can find, again, like a Randy Gregory for a 6th-round pick, something like that, obviously you think he's going to step in and he's going to help, but he's still depth and you still have other defenders that can step in and be a rotation. Same idea, I guess, with like cornerback. If there's an injury at corner, where are you? Maybe there's someone out there that's a little bit cheap. Yeah, I know. I know.
Someone
That's a
who's
scary
not
thing.
Ambry, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not excited about the depth behind Lenore and Charvarius Ward, but I think the 49ers are in a position where if someone who's an impact player does come available, depending on how team seasons go, like tonight the Denver Broncos play. If the Denver Broncos actually go out there and just throw up an absolute stinker on Thursday Night Football, then I think you're
No
going to
way,
start
they would
thinking,
do that?
yeah, I mean,
The Broncos?
very possible against
Come
Kansas
on.
City, right? No, you know what? What's funny is tonight's going to be the night that Denver actually puts up a really good fight on national TV against Kansas City. But there's going to be other teams that I think maybe had aspirations to go to the playoffs, and then all of a sudden realize after a few weeks, like, hey, listen, we don't got it. Let's try to retool for next year. So I think you're definitely going to see the 49ers be a little bit more proactive, and it's not necessarily because they need impact players. I mean, unless they come available, but I think it's more addressing depth before. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And I think that's where you'll see it. But yeah, the 49ers have dodged have dodged the injury bug. And I think that's probably one of the only things that can really stop this team at this point.
Yeah, and it almost seems like it would have to be like Brock Purdy, because there's so many Brock Purdy or Trent Williams. Trent Williams obviously is, or Fred Warner, maybe
Or Nick
even.
Bosa.
Never mind. We're just naming everyone.
Yeah.
You're right. It would be really great if injuries continued to be less of a